So till then, like this demo is going to be continued for another 35 to 40 minutes. After that, I'll open up for questions. In the meanwhile, everybody is having access to the chat box. If you have any questions, please ping your questions in the chat box so that I'll be covering them in the in the process of demo, so that we'll not be able to miss anything. Okay. So today is going to be Pega demo as well as first class for the people who are very serious about this training. Okay, because basing on the demo only, next sessions, every session is important. You should continue, every session will be depending on the previous sessions. I want to be very clear on that. Okay, so now first, what is Pega tool and how Pega development is different when compared to the conventional approaches, we'll try to understand by using a simple example. The simple example that I'm going to talk here is building a web page. Building a web page. Okay, building a web page for some ABC Institute. Building a web page for ABC Institute. Very small institute who needs a web page and they came to us. So in the features what they are expecting is they are expecting us to build a login page. Okay, some login functionality should be there here. After that, they want to take some user details. In user details also, they want to take first name, last name, phone number, email ID. Okay, these are the details that they want to take. These are the details that they want to take. And after that, they want to save these things into some temporary database or some database. Save to DB. Okay, login page, user details, and save to DB. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll discuss three scenarios. In two scenarios, I'm going to talk about how this is going to be done in conventional approaches, and third scenario, I'm going to talk about how this is going to be done in Pega, Pega tool. Okay, so the first scenario is where the most preferred conventional way of development is Java. Java language with one Java developer. Let us just simply assume that one Java developer has written some 3000 lines of code. 3000 lines of code, and to write this 3000 lines of code, he has taken some 30 days of time. To now write this 3000 lines of code, he has taken some 30 days time. Okay, so according to SDLC process, what do you mean by SDLC process? Software development life cycle process. According to SDLC process, no matter which tool, which project or which tool that is used for a creation of a software, it should undergo below phases. The first phase is requirement analysis, where we will be discussing in detail about what are the requirements and how to create them, what is what and all. Next, development. Next, testing. In testing, we will be discussing about SIT and UAT. After that, production. Every project should undergo these four phases for sure. Every project should undergo these four phases for sure. Pega developers will be working mostly in the development environment. Okay, they will be supporting for the issues, so-called defects in SIT and UAT, but this production will be maintained by a different team called as production support team for any project. Okay, so production is the phase where end users will be given access to the application. For example, everybody, every one of you is using some internet banking applications, right? That is nothing but the production environment for that particular corresponding bank. Okay, if you are using ABC Bank online banking, that is nothing but the production environment. All the features, whatever that you have done or whatever that you are using on daily basis, started here, where they have done, where they have done a detailed discussion around the requirements, saying that okay, user may be expecting this, user may be expecting that, and they have done a detailed requirements, and they have come up with the requirement documents, and then that is implemented by using the and then that is developed in the development environment. Then that will be evaluated in the testing environment for defects. Okay, once all the, you see, this is one level of defect and a defect evaluation, and this is second level of defect evaluation. User acceptance testing, basically someone who is trusted by the customer will be testing our application. Okay, so defect. So one new term, what do you mean by defect? Anything which is not as per the requirement. Anything which is not as per the requirement is called as defect. So one simple example is phone number. In our requirement, phone number is in our requirement, phone number should be 10 digits. But if you are taking more than 10 digits, that is nothing but a defect. If you are accepting special characters which is not present in the requirement, that is nothing but a defect. If you are accepting alphanumeric characters, that is also a defect. Okay, and there is a submit button. There is a submit button. On click of submit, it is supposed to go to the next screen, but it is not happening. That is a defect. Okay, so there is a retrieve button where you want to retrieve the current stock market rate, but it is not coming properly. That is a defect. Okay, you want to check your balance is not displayed properly. That is a defect. So anything which is not as per the requirement is called as a defect. So basically in SIT, basic system integration testing, and UAT, user acceptance testing, what they will do is they will check each and every possibility, all the positives, all the negative scenarios, and they will make sure that everything is working properly. Okay, because if something is found in the production environment by the end user, there is a chance that business loss might be there. So for example, if you are using an online banking application, if nothing is working fine there, what you will do? You will stop using it. Very simple, business loss. Okay, so come back to the previous one. In scenario one, why we have talked about all these things is, see here, we have done the requirement analysis here. Okay, not even in a detailed manner, but in a okay manner, requirement analysis. And after that, we have done the development here, where one Java developer, by using Java language, he has written some 3000 lines of code, okay, in 30 days. So what is next? What is the next phase? It is going to be testing phase. In testing also, preferably which one? SIT. So let's say that I have some 30 defects, whatever it may be. We don't need to go into detail. 30 defects. Okay, so 30 issues basically. So this was notified to client. ABC Institute is our client, right? This was notified to client. Client said, okay, so I'm very unhappy that we have 30 defects. So please give me a report where these 30 defects came. Very genuine question, and we have to answer it. So what I have done, I have categorized my code like this. Login page, or I'll give it as login module, user details module, save to DB module. Okay, so in the login module, if you see, I have written some 1000 lines of code. I'm just simply assuming, all these are my assumptions. 1000 lines of code, and here some 1000 lines of code. So next is categorizing my defect. So let's say that I have 10 defects here. I have 10 defects here. I have 10 defects here. Okay, so whatever customer has asked, we have prepared that particular report and we have given it to him. So it's up to customer, what should we do the next one? Because if he does not give the funding, we will not be able to continue and fix these defects. So customer told, okay, so I am not okay to go move further. Let's try with a different conventional approach or different approach. So in scenario 2, I'm using .NET, and this particular .NET is suggested by customer. Assumption, this particular .NET is suggested by customer because someone sometime back has already created this login functionality. Login module is already created sometime back, by someone in .NET language. That is the reason customer has suggested us to use .NET language. So now what we have to do, what customer is saying, login module is already present, okay, and this is completely tested, and this is defect free. That is what customer has given to us. So what is left for us to develop? We just have to develop user details and save to DB. These are the two things or two functionalities that we have to develop: user details module and save to DB module. So one .NET developer, again, see, I'm maintaining the consistency. One .NET developer, since .NET is a kind of little bit advanced when compared to Java, and our scope of development has got reduced. Let's say that we have written only 1,000 lines of code. So obviously what will come down? Our development time. Because of the advanced technology and because of the less scope, our development time will come down. Let's say that it is some 20 days. Okay, so now if you see, again we have to go to SIT no matter what. That is what we have discussed, right? So here I got some 10 defects. So what is the first thought that will come into our mind when we see these 10 defects here? What is the first thought that will come into our mind when we see this 10 defects here? At least the first thought that comes into my mind is whatever 10 defects that I'm seeing on my table are not from login module, because customer has already confirmed that okay, this particular login module, whatever that we have, is completely tested and it is defect free. So whatever defects that I am having is because of the code whatever that I have written for user details and save to DB. A simple understanding. So this was notified to customer and customer has asked for again an explanation. So what I will do, again one more assumption of breaking. 500 lines, 5 defects, 5 defects. Okay, 500 lines, 5 defects. Okay, so this is how the broken down, this is how it is going to be in scenario 2. We are going to discuss a lot about these things in the comparison factor. Scenario 1 and scenario 2. So customer has asked us to give one more try. That is scenario 3. Here I am going to use our hero called as Pega Tool. So if you see the first difference, Java language, .NET language, Pega Tool. When I say that it is a tool, someone should develop it, right? The Pega Systems is the company who created this Pega Tool, and the language and the approach they use to develop this particular Pega Tool is Java. So meaning whatever tool that you are seeing in the front end, in the background, Java code is working in the background. So you guys might not be, might not think in that point of view till this time. Everybody is using MS Office every day. In the background, some .NET and Python code is running in the background. Nobody, gives a thought to that. Same way, when we are using Pega Tool also, you don't need to, think what is happening in the background as in the Java code. You don't need to. Okay. So just like how we are using our MS Office products, you have to use Pega Tool to achieve the requirements to develop the projects and all, but you don't need to worry about the background Java code. Okay. Once you start developing it, at one point of time, you will automatically understand, okay, what is happening in the background, how to rectify any things, how to overcome these things and all. That will come automatically. So Pega is a tool which is developed by Pega Systems, and the language that is used by them is Java. language. Okay, so the next thing is in Pega Tool, what is the highlight? What is the highlight? In Pega Tool, everything will be there in the form of reusable modules. Everything will be there in the form of reusable modules. When I say this, let's say login module, login reusable module, user details module, save to DB module. Okay, who is creating this? Again, Pega Systems is creating this. Why Pega Systems got this idea of creating reusable modules, reusable customizable modules? See, everybody is developing applications by using conventional approaches only. So just to make things faster, what Pega Systems is doing is it is doing a market analysis, and it is doing a statistical study of 10-15 teams, and what is the common things that they are doing. It is identifying them and it is creating them as reusable modules in the Pega Tool. So what happens by this approach? Pega Tool will be having all the reusable modules which can be used by anybody. That is the reason Pega Tool is accepted vastly across different industries and different domains. Okay, so here if you see login module, user details module, and save to DB module. So basically this is what this login module, this user details, instead of writing this 500 lines of code, this is developed in the background and this is given to us in the form of a module. Okay, so every module will be very generic. You can customize it to some extent. I'll show you how you can customize what you have to do and all. Okay, so login module, I'll name this as M1, this one as M2, and this one as M3. So the basic job of one Pega developer here is he just have to understand the requirement. What is the requirement building a web page, and what is the features that are required, and what he has to do is he has to go to the Pega Tool. Out of all the modules whatever that are available here, which module will be suitable for them. See, we have so many modules. Which module will be suitable for the given requirement? He has to identify them and he has to create and customize it. That's all. That is what is the job of Pega developer. In this entire process, Pega developer will not write even a single line of code. So basically, since we are going for a module based approach, 0 lines of code will be there. So if I say myself as a Pega developer, obviously I will have some idea on the existing modules, right? So to understand the requirement, one day, to configure the modules, to identify the modules, second day, to configure the modules, third day, to test the modules, fourth day, and to do a unit testing, fifth day. So in 5 days I can complete this requirement. Just a simple assumption. Okay, in 5 days I can complete this requirement. Why am I able to complete it? Because I'm not writing lines of code. Only thing is I just have to understand the requirement. I have to identify the corresponding modules which are suitable for the requirement and customize them and connect them and execute them. When I say connect them, what Pega developer has to do is he has to connect every module like this, different module like this. Because M1 is representing login page, M2 is representing user details, M3 is representing save to DB. So the sequencing also should be done by Pega developer. If he see, if he keeps M3 in the beginning, that is not what the customer needs. So he has to understand the requirement, he has to understand the sequence, and he has to connect them. So here, if you see, the major effort of the developer is going towards understanding the business requirement. The major effort of the developer is going towards understanding the business requirement and achieving the business requirement in a sequence. That means like in a business point of view. But whereas when it comes to this conventional approaches, where the major effort is going, he will just simply see one requirement. Okay, I need login page. So what I have to do? He will sit and start writing lines of code. So that is the difference in the Pega tool. So here developers will be thinking how to achieve business requirements. In the conventional approaches, okay, please don't mind if anybody is there from .NET and Java. So I'm just simply saying how it is different. Okay, in Pega, generally what people will do is they will think from business point of view. When they think from business point of view, obviously, we'll be able to deliver a better product because everything is customizable and we just have to simply customize it. That's all. Okay, so M1 plus M2 plus M3. That is what is the job of Pega developer. So again, we have to deploy our code for SIT. Okay, surprisingly, I got only one defect here. Okay, surprisingly, I got only one defect here. So when I see one defect here, what is the first thought that comes into my mind? Because Pega Systems is giving this as a reusable module, so obviously what they will make sure? They will make sure that every module is completely tested before releasing that as a feature in a tool. Okay, so this particular defect, whatever that I'm seeing here, might be because of the connection, whatever that is established by the Pega developer. So I'm not worrying about this module 1 individually. I'm not worrying about module 2 individually. I'm not worrying about module 3 individually. I'm only worrying about the customization, whatever that I have done, and I'm only worrying about the correction, whatever that I have defined as a Pega developer. So whereas here in the scenario 1 and scenario 2, what he has to do, whenever he sees a defect, first what is the thought that what will come here? What we'll be doing? He'll be thinking about, okay, which part of the code might have given this defect. Okay, the thought process also will be different for a Pega developer. Okay, so this is how Pega development is different. So basically the bottom line is development in Pega, or Pega is a tool, Pega is a module based development tool where customizable modules will be present to ease the development. Okay, now comes the question, Kumar, many applications are adapting, so Pega is having all the tools, that means like Pega is having all the different models, whatever that are required to support this much of huge requirements, whatever that we are seeing nowadays. Okay, Pega, what it is doing is, it is not, it is just simply creating templates of it. When I say template, see here. Okay, so I'll just simply go here. I'll create one simple user interface rule. Right click. Okay, create new, user interface, and I'm going to create a section. Okay, I'll give this section name as user details. Okay, this particular section rule is the common module or common template that is created by Pega system. So I'll just simply create and open. I'll talk about these things once we start the classes. So I'll just simply create and open. So here if you see, create and open. So here if you see, my current template is empty. It does not have anything. So what are the things that I want in the user details? I need first name, last name, phone number, and email ID, correct? So here if you see, I'll just simply go to this data model. Okay, what we need? First name, right? So I'll just simply drag and drop. Next, last name. Do I have it? Okay, I have it. Last name. Next, phone number. Do I have it? Okay, so I do not have phone number. So what I will do? I'll just simply create one phone number. See, right click, create phone number, create and open. See, I'm just simply giving my whatever that I need, and I'm just simply selecting what type. So basically phone number will be an integer, and I'll just simply save it. See, I'm not writing any lines of code. I'm just simply using the existing functionalities and existing components, customizable components, whatever that I have. So I'll just simply refresh this again, because I just simply created the phone number, right? So I'll just simply go here, I'll open the property. See, phone number came here. Now I'll go back to the previous user details 01 whatever that we are creating, and I'll just simply drag and drop. So this is what I mean when I say when I mean customization. Okay, so basic templates will be there. You will be creating small components, and you will be combining multiple components to achieve the requirement. Okay, basic templates will be there, multiple components will be there, multiple small components will be there. You will be combining more than 1 or 2 modules to achieve the business requirement. Okay, and Pega is a flexible tool. When I say, see here, now first name, last name and phone number are there in the sequence. I'll just simply go here. Every module will have so many options. We just have to understand all those modules. See, inline grid double, 2 columns, inline grid triple, 3 columns, inline, close it together. So like this. Basically what we have to do is, like, we just have to understand the requirement and identify the module which we have to create, identify the smallest modules which we have to create first, and then we have to combine them into bigger modules. That is what is the Pega development. So in this entire process of creating user details, I did not write a single line of code. What I did, I just simply created the existing components in the Pega tool, and I'm just simply trying to understand, achieve the requirement. Okay, we'll go in a detailed manner when we start working on the tool, but this is how the development is going to be different in Pega tool when compared to the conventional approaches. So what is the advantage? Okay, Kumar, this is how we understood that module based development is going to happen in Pega tool. What are the different factors where Pega is a better option when compared to the conventional approaches? The first factor, which we have already seen. So if you see scenario 1 and scenario 2 and scenario 3, number of defects came down. Okay, S1, S2, S3. So what is the first factor that you have seen? Visibly you have seen. Okay, number of defects. Ideally, if I ask you which project is best, the project which is having less number of defects is best. Okay, obviously the project which is developed in Pega tool is okay. I'm not saying it is the best. I'm giving it as okay only, because no tool cannot be best in software industry. Okay. Next, number of business risk. Number of business risk. What do you mean by a business risk? What do you mean by a business risk? A defect which is not identified in the development environment and testing environment, and which is identified in the production environment, that too by end user, is called as a business risk. Okay, so a simple example is, okay, somehow a bank missed to test how the IMPS functionality is working, and end user tried to do IMPS functionality, and instead of debiting 5 rupees as transaction charge, they have debited 6 rupees as transaction charge. Okay, only 1 rupee difference. It may be a typo mistake, typo error. But what happens next time? Will you go and do the transaction there? No, right? So what is happening? A business loss of 5 rupees is happening. It may be small. Okay, it may be small, but some business loss is happening. When we're talking about large enterprise, it will be in crores. Okay, that kind of business risk, that kind of business risk will be coming if you do not identify defects in the lower environment. So here if you see 3000 lines of code, from anywhere we can get a defect. Here also 1000 lines of code, from anywhere we can get a defect. But here if you see modules, so all the modules whatever that are released by Pega systems are almost 98% defect free. See, I'm not claiming it as 100%. 98% defect free. Okay, and whatever extra configurations, whatever that we have just simply given a small demo trial. Okay, those kind of configurations might be wrongly configured, or we might have done something wrong there. Other than that, the chances of getting number of defects is very less. Okay, obviously in development and testing, if you have less number of tests, less number of defects, we'll do extensive testing in 2 levels, and the number of defects that are going to come in production also will be very less. Indirectly, number of business risk also will be okay in scenario 3. Next one, very important factor for any software project, time. So here if you see, one Java developer, 3000 lines of code, he has taken 30 days. That means like for a day, he has written 100 lines. Okay, ideally they will be writing more than that, but I'm just simply saying a 1 year or 2 years Java developers. Okay, so 30 days. Next, one .NET developer, 20 days. But whereas one Pega developer, entire requirement 5 days. Time. Obviously, time is equal to money. Next, cost. Okay, see here, everywhere I have used one developer only. Everywhere I have used only one developer only. Let's say that for irrespective of technology, I am paying $80 put to a developer for a day. So in which scenario I'm going to pay higher? In scenario 1, I'm going to pay higher, right? Now people will ask, Kumar, what about the licensing cost and all? Okay, .NET is not free. Java is an open source, but the frameworks, whatever that are there in the Java tool, all of them are charged by Sun Systems. Okay, so app server, Tomcat server, all those things are charged by Sun Systems. But whereas in the Pega tool will come as a single bundle of all those things. Tomcat server, HTML5, all those things will be coming as inbuilt features in the Pega tool. So somewhere it is getting equalized, and cost also will be comparably okay, not best, okay, in scenario 3. And the next important thing is, see here, for 3000, simple requirement, we have written some 3000 lines of code. Imagine this application goes for 10 years or 5 years. How many lines of code will be there? Minimum to minimum 1 lakh lines of code. I'm not going too much, 1 lakh lines of code. So if I give that 1 lakh lines of code to you and ask, okay, Mr. XYZ, do some analysis and remove all the unwanted code. A biggest nightmare, right? So, but whereas when it comes to Pega tool, no matter how many years I'm going to work, I'll be creating small modules. Okay, if I give that to you and if I ask, okay, please do a maintenance of this application, that means like remove all the unwanted things, what you will do, you will start from the beginning and you will go till the end, and it may take 2 months or 4 months or 5 months, but you will be able to complete it at a much faster rate when compared to the scenario 1. Basically, maintenance. What do you mean by maintenance? The process of removing the unused code. Why we have to remove the unused code? Good performance. Very simple. Nothing much. Good performance. Okay. So this maintenance is also easy in Pega. Next one is enhancements. One more important factor. What do you mean by enhancement? So if you see in our user details, currently we are not taking address basically. So I want to add it. I want to add address. So what we will do? That is nothing but an enhancement, right? What we will do? In scenario 1, out of those 3000 lines of code, I'll try to identify what are all the lines of code that I have to modify to add address into it, and I'll modify it. In scenario 2, I'll identify, okay, which part of the, if it is that module, okay, fine. If it is not module, I have to go through the remaining 1000 lines of code and I have to do the enhancement there. But whereas when it comes to scenario 3, what I have to do, I have to identify the module, not the lines of code. Okay, I will identify the module and I'll make my changes here. So normally what people will do is in conventional approaches, what they will do is like they will take a complete backup of entire code. Okay, they will take the complete backup of entire code, and they will make all the changes. If something goes wrong, okay, if something goes wrong, they will replace the code with the old code, whatever that is taken as backup in conventional approaches. But whereas when it comes to Pega tool, what they will do is they will take backup of the module which has to be modified, and they will make their changes on the backup code, not the original code. Okay, on the backup code. That means during the period where you are working on the enhancement, your original code is as is. Okay, it does not have any changes. It does not have any changes. So you are working on a backup. If everything goes fine, what you will do? You will just simply replace the original thing and you will keep this one. If it goes wrong, what you will do? You will discard the backup, whatever that you have taken. So enhancements is also comparably easy and secure in Pega tool when compared to the another conventional approaches. Okay, yes, it is completely possible to have a optimal solution, whatever that is given by Pega, optimal solution similar to Pega tool in the other conventional approaches also, but you have to compromise in certain factors. For example, if you want to have less number of defects, what you have to do? You have to spend quality time in the development. The longer time you are going to spend, the costlier it is going to get. Okay. So after that, if you want to have if you want to complete the project in lesser time, what you have to do? You have to compromise on quality, or you have to increase the number of developers. Okay, if you want to your application to maintenance and enhancements, that is completely different story. Leave about it. Pega is one of the best optimal tool to support the enhancements. Okay, so these are all the 6 factors that are making Pega as one of the most chosen option for development. Okay, so here if you see, basically what is happening here, in conventional approaches, we are concentrating on the lines of code. But whereas when it comes to Pega tool, we are concentrating on business requirement. Okay, what is my business requirement talking about? According to business requirement, I need 3 modules: login module, user details module, and save to DB module. Okay, do I have these modules? Yes, but I have to do some customization. Yes, I will do the customization and I will connect those modules. Entire business requirement. Entire, from the business point of view. Developer also will be thinking from business point of view only. That is the reason Pega is called as business process management tool. Okay, simply Pega BPM tool, which you will be finding in the Google tool. Google. When you type Pega, it will come as Pega BPM automatically. Okay, business process management tool. When we call something as a business process management tool, it should have all the reusable modules, which will help us to achieve as much as business requirements as possible with minimum customization. Okay, Pega is one such tool in the market. There are many other tools like XYZ and all. There are many other tools are there, but Pega is one of the best competitive tool in the industry. I'm not saying it as best. One of the competitive tool. Okay, using which which is doing very good in terms of BPM industry or BPM applications, business process applications. Okay, so this is how the development in Pega is going to be different when compared to the conventional approaches. Okay, so tomorrow when I start the demo, basically for the people who are joining these sessions, tomorrow when I start this session, I'll be starting from this scenario 3 only. So that is the reason I have kept it as first class. Okay, so couple of common questions that people will be asking whenever they I take demo is the most frequently and most common question that people will be asking is, do I need to have any prerequisite to learn Pega tool? Okay, do I need to have any prerequisite to learn Pega tool? And my answer is no prerequisites, because see, it's a matter of creating the component and it's a matter of dragging the other components into it. So you don't need any previous programming experience, or you don't need any previous IT years of experience. Only thing is you just have to simply understand what I am trying to teach here, and you just have to simply replicate it at the same time so that you will be on the same page with me and you will be able to create things easy. That's all. And also a simple logical thinking logical thinking is needed. That's all, not programming and all those things. You don't need Java, you don't need .NET, you don't need C, blah blah blah, you don't need anything. Only thing is, whatever that I'm telling in the class, you have to practice it on the same day or at max by the weekend, and you have to come back to me with the questions. That's all. Next question is about certifications. There are 3 levels of certifications. The first one is CSA, Certified System Architect, which is for the entry level of people, 0 to 3 years of Pega developers who will project themselves as 0 to 3 years of Pega developers. Next, CSSA, 3 to 7 or 8 years of Pega developers. Okay, LSA, 10 minimum, 10 plus years of experience. So there is a gap, right? After 9th year, people will give continuous attempts to LSA. That is very tough exam. Okay, so 10 plus years of experience in Pega. All these things are in Pega only. So after this training, people will ask, after this training, which certification I'll be able to complete? You will be able to complete CSA easily if you follow whatever that I'm telling, and whatever practice that I'm instructing. If you complete it, you will be able to complete CSA. But CSSA, I would say, wait for a job. Once you get the job, do it after getting the job, after seeing the actual product Pega projects, because lot of scenario based questions will be coming and you need a little bit of scenario approach there. Okay, and the next very common question that people will be asking me is, will I be teaching real-time projects? Okay, my answer is strict no, because I cannot share my client's information to you. What I will be doing is, whatever real-time challenges that we are facing and whatever that we are solving by using Pega tool, I'll try to simplify them and I'll try to represent in the form of small examples which are indirectly small scenarios which are equivalent to real-time complexities, whatever that you are going to face as a Pega developer. That is what I can guarantee. Okay, don't expect me to show my client application client these things and all. No, I'm not going to. Okay, so the point to be clear here is, I'll be taking the real-time scenarios and I'll try to convert them into a very simple examples, like some banking transactions, claim transactions, so like that, simple examples, and I'll try to explain those things to you by using the concepts that are there in the Pega tool. Okay, so did I miss anything? I don't think so. Okay, so that is all from my end, and now I'm opening the session for questions. If you have any questions, you can speak out, no problem. Okay, I just unmuted everybody. As I told, it's going to be 40 minutes. I'm done. Okay, any questions?
Hey Kumar,
Okay.
Kiran here.
Yes, tell me.
Kumar, just wanted to know, like you were saying about the CSA certification, right? The course material that was provided by Prakash, would that not be sufficient to give a shot to CSA?
See, no matter what, even if you are LSA certified, okay, you will not be seeing a different concepts other than the whatever course curriculum that is given to you. Only thing is, every concept, whatever that you are seeing in the course curriculum, it has a range between starting, medium, and expert. Okay, same concepts will be there. Same concepts will be there. Everybody will be starting from this, the basic level. after understanding the basics of every concept, they will go to the next levels based on the projects, whatever that they are working. Okay, so at Maths, you can complete till CSA certification. You know, CSA and CSSA is a very tough attempt. You should be very determined to complete it. Yes, it is achievable. I'm not saying it is not achievable, but yes, you will be able to do it. But CSA is a kind of a little bit tougher, because I want to be fair from the beginning itself. It needs practical exposure to the real-time requirements and real-time those things, which is not possible to cover in the whatever time frame that we have in this curriculum. Okay, but I'll be teaching the very basics, and you're going to be a kind of intermediate Pega developer. I'm not saying you're going to be an expert or you're going to be a basic intermediate. The person who has to extend himself to become an expert. Okay. So CSA, for sure, you can straight away give it, no problem. After completing the class, after revising everything 2 to 3 times, you can straight away give it, no problem. But CSSA,
Okay.
you need practical experience.
Okay, Kumar, just consider that like I have given the CSA exam and I have worked for 2 years. So
Okay.
when in the future when I'm going to give the CSSA exam, will your material be sufficient for me? Like,
see, basically, that is one point. Pega Systems is very rude about these things. I'm not saying I'm serious about this. Very rude about these things. If they find us sharing info, a material outside the Pega world, they are going to identify them and they are going to sue them. What I'll be showing you is, I'll be showing you an official website of Pega where you will be able to register with your official